Pope Francis entered the audience hall in Rome for the weekly general audience shortly after the Christmas holidays on December the 28th, 2022, he carried a message that startled more than just the faithful worldwide. The pontiff addressed a prayer request to the world.
I ask you all for a special prayer for Pope Emeritus Benedict. Remember him, he is very ill, and ask the Lord to comfort and support him in this witness of love for the Church until the end.
E lo sostenga in questa testimonianza di amore alla Chiesa fino alla fine.
A short time later, the Holy See issued a press release describing the health of the Pope Emeritus as worrying but stable for the moment. 2 days later, on December the 30th, a Holy Mass for Pope Benedict was even held in the Lateran Basilica. Cardinal Angelo de Donatis presided over the Eucharistic celebration, which was attended by numerous faithful, as well as old companions of Joseph Ratzinger, Pope Benedict XVI.
If you read a little, you can only marvel at the depth of theology he communicated, but always in a language that is understandable and that does not hover above the clouds, but stays closer to the reality of life. The connection has remained, and I am very grateful for the courage he had also to acknowledge his limitations. But what he gave to the people with his life and with his teaching, and above all with his preaching, that remains.
The very next morning, December the 31st, 2022, Benedict XVI took his last breath. The Vatican officially announced a little later.
Con dolore vi informiamo che il Papa Emerito Benedetto XVI è deceduto questa mattina alle ore 9:34 nel monastero Mater Ecclesiae in Vaticano.
The news had quickly spread. Already TV stations from all over the world gathered in front of St. Peter's Square. A little more than 200,000 pilgrims from all over the world took the opportunity to personally bid farewell to him as he lay in state. The Requiem Mass with Pope Francis followed on January the 5th. After the Requiem Mass, the coffin was taken into St. Peter's Basilica and finally buried in the same site as the former tomb of Pope John Paul II.
It's a very emotional moment, and I love this funeral service of the Catholic Church because it combines a deep sense of sadness and real loss at the death of Pope Benedict, but it also contains absolutely firm and resolute expressions of faith, that we know that there is life after death and that the promises of Christ are reliable, and therefore we celebrate this with sadness but with great firmness of faith and confidence in the future.
Many pilgrims may have still remembered the words of Benedict that Pope Francis mentioned the day before at the general audience.
In the words of our dear departed Benedict XVI, I want to remind you, he who believes is never alone. He who has God as Father has many brothers and sisters.